codeofkids.com, and if you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, kindly do it so that you don't miss any of my videos. So without any delay, let's get started. And today we are gonna learn about React CSS styling, right? So today we are gonna learn about React CSS styling, and this is also a very important concept and very interesting. So without any delay, let's get started. Jam! So as we all know, we can code our React app, but we also need to add some styles to it, right? To make it look good, beautiful, and basically impressive, right? So for that we need to add styles. Today we are gonna learn the three ways, right? The three most common ways through which we can style our React app. So there are many ways to style React with CSS, but today we are gonna learn about three common ways. First common way is inline styling. So what is inline styling? In inline styling, what happens, there's an element, right, and you give it a style attribute and give styles in it that is basically put on the element. So basically if we give a heading one and give it a style attribute and say whatever how it should style that heading one, then it will style the heading one according to what we have said, right? So let's see. To style an element with the inline style attribute, the value must be an JavaScript object. Let's see. Import React from React, import React DOM from React DOM. So we are doing imports. Then we have our header component. In that we are just returning, we have wrapped our code in a fragment, and basically we are returning a heading one. We are giving it a style attribute. So this means that we want to style this heading one, and its value is double brackets color equals red. So I'll just explain this in a second. We'll just read the whole code very quick, and we are just writing hello style and closing the heading one tag, and then we are adding a p tag, add a little style, and then we are just rendering this component in basically document our root element. So basically we get hello style, add a little style. So what is happening with this over here? So over here we have a style attribute, right? So basically to style any element using inline styling, you need to give it a style attribute, right? And its value is basically a JavaScript object. How? Why have we given these double brackets? Over here we want to set styles value as a JavaScript object. So to write JavaScript we need to use basically these braces, right? So basically to write a JavaScript expression in JSX we need to wrap our JavaScript in curly braces, right? And what we are returning from this code block where we are writing JavaScript is this object. So we are returning this object from this JavaScript code block. So basically styles value is an object in which there is a property color and its value is red. So it will identify, it will see that if I get a JavaScript object, whatever properties in it are, just set it as the CSS basically properties, and whatever the value of those properties in the object are, set them as the CSS values, right? So over here it is basic, we have just mentioned that color equals to red in our JavaScript object that is being returned from this code block. So basically style will get an object with a property color and its value is red. So it will basically just change the style of the heading one from black color to red, right? So that's why we can see our heading one in the color red. Very, very, very cool. Now camel case property names. Let's read what this is saying. Since the inline CSS is written in a JavaScript object, so if you know how to style basically your elements of HTML using JavaScript, it is like document.get element by ID, an element dot style, and dot any property, right? And that property name we give, like if it is like a background color properties, we read Okay, so background color property, we write it in camel case in JavaScript to style the background color, right? Similarly in React, since the Indian CSS is written in a JavaScript object, meaning we need to follow the JavaScript standards to style our elements. Properties with hyphen separators like background color must be written with camel case syntax, right? So they must be written like this in camel case: background, no hyphen, and color C is capital. And this is how we set an element's background color in JavaScript also, right? So this is a JavaScript object, that's why we need to write it like this, right? So we have imported everything, right? And we have a header component. Now it is returning, it is wrapping all the code in a fragment. Then in the heading one, it is just setting a style attribute uh, whose value is basically a JavaScript object with background color equals to light blue. So it will change the background color to light blue, and basically what we are writing is hello style, right? And then we have a p tag, add a little style, right? So this was a component and we are just rendering that component. So we'll see hello style and its background will be light blue, and then after that we'll see a paragraph tag, add a little style, right? Quite cool, right? So if I give this in the hyphen way, it will not work because we need to follow the JavaScript CSS standard. So it is bringing that red line saying that there's an error over there, right? And now there's no red line because we have given background color property correctly, right? Quite cool. Finally, JavaScript object. You can also create an object with styling information and refer to it in the style attribute, right? So what is over here? Over here, basically, when we are doing using inline styling, we have imported React from React, imported React DOM. Then we have a header component. We are defining a header component, and in that we have a constant my style that is an object, right? It is an object which of, and in that we are just adding some CSS properties, right? And the values. So like color is white, background color is dodger blue, padding is 10 pixel, and font family is sans serif, right? So over here we have basically a my style object in which we have just given some styles, right? And then we are returning, basically from this component we have wrapped a code in fragment, right? And we are writing a heading one, and its style is basically, over here we are writing JavaScript, right? And in that we are returning my style. So this my style object will be returned. So styles value will be this my style object, right? In which there is all these properties, these styling properties, right? So this will style our heading one, right? And basically after defining the component, we are just rendering the component, right? So now we will have a heading one that will be styled as color. Its color will be white, the background color will be dodger blue, which is a very bright color of blue and very basically appealing and pleasing, right? Then we are setting the padding of 10 pixels, and then font family sans serif. So we are getting this result and it looks magnificent, right? It completely looks magnificent, right? So now this was the first way, inline styling. What is the other way is that you can create a CSS style sheet, a separate CSS style sheet where you can write all your CSS code, and then you can import it in your React file, and it will style your components, your body, your headings, and everything, right? So you can write your CSS styling in a separate file. Just save the file with the .css file extension, that is basically an extension for CSS files, and import it in your application. Sorry. So over here we have a code, we have imported React and React DOM, and then what we are doing, we are importing our main.css file that I have created over here, right? So we are importing this main.css file in which we have some styles, right? And you see over here we don't follow the JavaScript standard, as this is not a JavaScript object. We give normal hyphen and all, right? So what we have done, we have just imported it, and this will style all basically our components and everything that are in the file. Sorry. So over here we have a header component in which we are returning basically a fragment with a heading 1 hello style and a paragraph tag add a little style, right? And after defining this, we are just rendering the component. So what styles are being applied to the body? We are applying some styles to the body. We are applying background color, so we are setting a background color. Then we are setting color white, meaning that all the text that we will write on a screen will be of color white. Then we are setting a padding of 40 pixels in the basically body. We are setting the font family to sans serif, and we are just aligning all our text to center, right? So this also looks beautiful, right? It looks magnificent. Okay, and now this was not inline, it was a separate style sheet. Now another way is CSS modules. So another way of adding styles to your application is to use CSS modules, right? So we can use CSS modules, and this is also another way how we can add styles to our application. CSS modules are convenient for components that are placed in separate files. So these CSS modules are convenient for the components that are placed in separate files. The CSS inside a module is available only for the component that imported it. So the component that imported this CSS module, that's basically the CSS inside a module is available only for the component that imported it. So the component that imported it, the CSS available to that component only, and you do not have to worry about name conflicts. So now we don't need to worry about the name conflicts that can occur uh, with CSS. Basically, we don't need to worry about the name conflicts that occur if you use CSS modules, right? So create the CSS module with the dot module dot CSS extension. So we need to create a CSS module with the dot module dot CSS extension. So over here I have created a my module, right, with dot module dot CSS extension. If I just rename this, you can see it is dot module dot CSS, right? And in this we have just added styles to a big blue class, right? A color red, a color dodger blue, padding 40 pixels, font family sans serif, and text align center, right? uh right. So in our main.jsx, what we're doing, we are importing React from React, then we are importing React down, and then we are importing the car component that we have created over here, right? And I imported this wrong, so my module. So what we are doing over here, we are importing React from React, then we are importing our styles. So what this my module uh, dot module dot CSS is returning is a basically style object. It is basically a style object that we can use to style all our elements in our component, or all our JSX elements in our component, right? So over here we have a car component, right? We are returning what we are returning an heading 1. Its class name is styles dot big blue, right? So class name styles dot big blue is saying that whatever is the value of styles dot big blue, set it as the class name, so that however big blue class is styled, just style this component like that only. If you don't understand the statement that I just said, please just back the video and you will surely understand it, right? And we have written hello car. So what is happening, we are doing styles.bigblue. So it is basically saying whatever is the value of styles.bigblue, just set it as the class name of this heading tag, so that it can be styled how the big blue class is styled in the styles object, right? So we are setting it the class name of styles.bigblue. So now it will be styled as how we style basically our big blue class in our styles my module.module.css, right? And in a styles object, right? And we're just exporting default car. So in main.jsx we now got this car component, and it is a styled car component, right? So now there are no worries for name conflicts, right? Because we have given over here, we have given the class name as styles.bigblue. So whatever is the value of styles.bigblue, big blue, that will only be set as the class name. How they can be conflicts, like if we just give a normal big blue class to this, and then over here in our main.jsx we are styling another big blue class, so it will be confused. Should I use the styles over here that are mentioned over here, or should I use the styles that are mentioned over here? So in to prevent these name conflicts, we use modules, right? And we are just rendering the car component. So we'll just okay, so we are getting an error. Does this file exist? Yes, it does. Just do it car.jsx, and you see we get hello car. That was a silly error. So thank you guys. If you like the video, don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. Thank you guys. Bye. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep watching my videos. Bye.